Well, ladies and dudes, I gotta tell you the truth right now. It's almost 20 years ago, back when I first saw Pokemon 3 the movie, The Spell of the Unknown, I did check out the preview of Shrek. And when I first saw Shrek, the main character, I just thought of him as an alien, not an ogre, because he has those little cute ear thingies. Yeah, I thought of him as an alien. He looks like an alien character, not an ogre. I know, it's kind of confusing, don't you think? Yeah, for sure. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobbob1987. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, it's almost 20 years ago when this movie came out in theaters. And no, I have never seen this movie in theaters. But I did know it did become one of the most popular films of all time back at 2001. And the very first time I watched this movie, it was on 8th grade at science class, where we were having our very first Christmas party. Yeah, that's what I remembered when I first saw this movie when I was 14 years old. So yeah, for my next movie review is Shrek, the first one. And yes, this movie is still a very good film, even to this day. And I can't believe it's almost 20 years old. That is so darn surprising to me. Yep. The very first Shrek movie that started it all. And I know about the sequels. The second one is great, much better than the first one. And the third, I know everybody said it was the worst, but I haven't watched the whole thing. But I do like the fourth Shrek movie, Shrek Forever After. And I wonder if it is true or not they are going to make a fifth one. And I'm sure all the fans won't like it at all. But let's just go back to the very first movie that started it all. So, for my next movie review is Shrek, our dear, beloved ogre. But I thought of him as an alien character, if you know what I mean. So, let's head on to the main plot of the story. It's a story about the ogre named Shrek. He's just a happy-go-lucky ogre who wants to be alone. He wants to have good privacy, and all he cares about is just being alone in his own swamp. But not until like one big night, he and his new friend Donkey got some new neighbors. And these new neighbors are all these fairy tale characters that we all know and love, like Pinocchio and the three little pigs and the big bad wolf who's wearing grandma's outfit and so many others. And Shrek had no idea what the heck they're doing in their swamp. And he had no choice but to go to a place far, far away called Dula and talk to this shorty dude named Lord Farquaad. Says Lord Farquaad is the one who put all the fairy tale people and animals into Shrek's swamp. And all that Shrek ever wanted is to get those fairy tale people out of his swamp so he could have his privacy back. He was about to do it, but he has to set a deal with Mr. Lord Farquaad and tell Shrek that he has to go to another area that's far, far away where there's a princess who was stuck in this unknown castle for who knows how long, and they gotta stop a fiery breathing dragon. And so on and so forth. That's all I could say about the main plot of the story of Shrek. And I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I really did enjoy this movie. It's a really good movie from DreamWorks Pictures, and also a very good film that is CGI. Well, one of the CGI films I do trust. Says it had a good storyline, likable characters, good animation. It had a really nice score, and it has some good, nice songs from some familiar artists here or there. And the voice casting is pretty darn good, for sure. So anyway, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of Shrek. Let's go on to the weakest points first. It's 0. I have no weak points at all for this movie, so it's perfect in so many ways. And as for the strongest points for this movie, it's the storyline. I freaking love the storyline from start to finish. If I ever do my top 10 most favorite movies of all time that featured into a great storyline, I think Shrek, the first one, will make it to the list. Well, Sally, I haven't done that yet because it's gonna take a long time for me to find which one of these great movies I cared about here or there that has the best storyline. So it's gonna take a long time for me to think about. But yes, Shrek the first one does have a great storyline. I love all the things that happen from start to finish. You know, that Shrek wants to be alone in the swamp. He makes new friends with a donkey named Donkey who talks a lot. There's a really cool Princess Fiona who's not really a damsel in distress. She knows how to take care of her own things. And yeah, she knows how to fight. That's pretty darn cool to see. And we got Lord Farquaad, who's a frickin' shorty. I'm not sure how tall he is. He might be 4 feet or something. Yeah. And it's cool to see all the fairy tale characters in this story. You know, like Pinocchio, the 3 little pigs, the big bad wolf, the 3 blind mice, and some others. It's really cool to see them in the story, for sure. So that's all I could say about the greatest, strongest point ever is the storyline. And now let's go on to the characters. It's hard for me to pick which character I like the best. But I think we'll go with one character that stands out of all of them. And that is Donkey, played by Eddie Murphy. And I understand what everybody is saying, that Donkey is truly the best character in the whole entire Shrek Saga. I mean, this Donkey is funny, he's entertaining, he loves to sing, and he likes to talk a lot, and he's just a really good character to watch. I mean, he has a really good storyline, he has a great personality, great attitude, he's a really good, lovable character that we can all trust for the whole entire Shrek Saga. And I do love the character development and chemistry that he had with Shrek. He and Shrek became such good friends in the whole entire film. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy, playing our dear beloved Donkey. Yes, it is truly his best role, his best character, and truly his best performance. Out of all the other characters that he did play for so many years. Yeah, for sure. And I think I have nothing else to say, so here's my final thoughts of Shrek. Overall, Shrek is such a good movie to watch, and one of the best animated films that you'll ever know for so many years. I will say it had a very good storyline, it has likable characters, great animation, great score, great music from a couple of our familiar artists here and there, and it's one of the best movies that came from in the 2000 area. So for my rating for this film, I decided to give it a perfect high rating score of 10 out of 10. Check out this movie to believe it. And I'm sure that the 20th anniversary is going to come up very soon in the year of 2021. For sure. And that's my whole entire movie review of Shrek. Oh yeah, before I go, ladies and dudes, here is something I forgot to tell you while I was continuing on doing this movie review of Shrek. Just one great, interesting, fun fact to know. Alright, ladies and dudes, here is a great fun fact that nobody had never noticed about Shrek. Well, before they chose Mike Myers as Shrek, they decided to pick only one comedian who came from in the late 90s who will play Shrek. And that is the Saturday Night Live actor Chris Farley. And I will say that Chris Farley did a pretty decent job of, trying to fit his voice for Shrek. Yes, it is true, ladies and dudes. The DreamWorks people had decided to pick Chris Farley first to play Shrek before Mike Myers. But sadly, we already know, somewhere around in the year 1997, Chris Farley had passed away. He passed away from, I think, drug abuse or something. I can't remember. Yeah, he died before the people had decided to work on Shrek. Yep. That's an interesting fun fact that nobody had never noticed. That Chris Farley is going to be the first guy to be picked as Shrek before Mike Myers. Yep. That is true, ladies and dudes. Very true indeed. So that's the interesting fun fact I will tell you all. And I'll be back very soon for another movie review to come. I really need to go back to the library and get James and the Giant Peach, because I really, really need to rewatch that movie so I could do a movie review of it for all of you. Whenever I can get there. For sure. So, that is it for now. I'll see you guys later, and sayonara.